Hello everybody, welcome to this video here on G4G. Today we are in Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. Background music is brought to you by No Copyright Sounds, the Tobu playlist. And we are talking about, is Playdom killing Marvel Avengers Alliance 2? So a few months ago I had done a video of, is Playdom hurting Marvel Avengers Alliance 2? And maybe at the time, they were, and then they weren't. I mean, it was okay, but we didn't have some of the changes that we're seeing now in the game that have ridiculously hurt this particular game. And it's a shame because, let me go on record right now and get this out of the way. I like the game. This game can coexist in my brain with Marvel Avengers Alliance 1. I can enjoy them equally. I can enjoy them on whatever sliding scale. I don't feel that 2 affects 1, 1 affects 2. I kind of wish 2 would give us some heroes that we have not already dealt with in other games, and stop going with the popular heroes du jour, in a sense of, say Deathlock. We were getting Deathlock everywhere. Angela's been everywhere. Angela's now coming to Marvel Heroes. Mr. Hyde. I gotta give him credit for Mr. Hyde. That's new and unique. We're not really dealing with him anywhere else. But, Marvel Future Fight's got Nebula, Agent 13, Black Panther's everywhere. Deathlock is in a bunch. Heimdall's in a bunch. Angela's everywhere. I mean, there's nobody that unique in here, but we are getting some of the villains like MODOK. I just recently got MODOK at about 3-4 o'clock in the morning today, and finally finished the task that I needed to do for this chapter. But that's a personal thing. I mean, this PIM is different than any PIM we really deal with, and the fact that you could have like an all Black Widow team or an all Captain America team, and there's no restriction on that. That is something interesting. But I would like for them to deal with stuff that we're not dealing with in other games. However, that's just a personal thing. That isn't about whether or not they're killing the game. But I feel as if they've done so much lately to kill this game. And I'm actually going to bring up my little cheat sheet over here, because I've been polling the community and writing down their thoughts and my thoughts for a couple weeks now. One, they have helped the game a little bit with the fact that research tokens drop a little bit more now than they did. And they came out and I'm like, yeah, we're sorry. We were kind of fucking up those drops over there. And that is cool that when you do scouting, you are a little bit more likely now to go ahead and get those drops. And that's pretty cool. However, they have basically ruined just about everything else in the game. And this is kind of a weak line for me because I was doing some scouting, some low-level scouting to get MODOK trained up, but let's see, level 30. I don't think I need a super good tank. I'll get Luke in there. Let's get Gas Cap in there. So what I like to do is I like to have somebody who's close to leveling up on the sidelines. I tend to bring a lot of lower level people on the sidelines over there so that they siphon off experience. And then I usually bring like an oh shit, like Iron Fist is in there if he needs some healing and stuff. But yeah, so while the tokens got better, scouting is awful now. I mean, the scouting recharge rate is absolutely atrocious. And they ruined scouting and the ability to scout relatively frequently. The gold cells had been one of the worst changes I think that they've ever done. So if you forget or are not familiar with it, it used to be that when you got a gold reward for something, you got 5 gold. It was guaranteed. You actually got the bar itself. Well, what they did is they said, you know, we're not going to give you bars anymore. We are going to give you a gold cell. And the gold cell has a chance to drop X amount of gold. Not 1, but I think it was, the range was 2 to 10. Well, when they first made this change, I had some people that complained about it, like, oh, this is awful. My gold input is definitely going down. I'm like, dude, I feel bad for you because my gold input has gone up. My gold influx, I'm getting 8s and 10s, and, you know, I was making a lot more gold when I first changed it. And then, all of a sudden, there was this blammo change where pretty much everything I get now is 2s and 3s. When I stream Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, I often, when I'm done with my PvP or missions or Spec Ops or whatever, I wander over here to Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 and I do my dailies on the stream. It has become a running thing now that when I stream Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, I often poll the chat channel. I'm like, alright, how much do you think I'm going to get? And I bet 3, and people bet 2s, people bet 3s. So nobody bets 5 or higher. And that's because it's absolute garbage. I mean, it's... there definitely is a visible moment in time where they changed the drop rate, and what used to be my more 5 to 10 range is now 2 to 5, mostly 2s and 3s, so that hurts the game quite a bit. The economy of the game is changing. Then they changed things in the store to where more things were gold oriented, and all of a sudden, you know, now we're not getting a whole lot of gold, but yet there's a lot of stuff to get with gold. Saturday Silver. So for those who are unaware and maybe have never even scrolled over to it, on Saturdays when you do scouting, there was a mission designed specifically to get silver. And that's what you did that particular scouting for, was to go ahead and do the scouting, not for other things, but to build up your resources. And a lot of games do this. You know, you'll see this in the Final Fantasy games, like, you know, instead of this mission giving you a character or lots of experience, you may do the mission to get orbs, to craft spells, or stuff to get weapons, and, you know, things like that. So that was this game's version of that. Well, Saturday Silver has been nerfed tremendously, and people are not seeing the amount of silver rewards that they used to when they do Saturday Silver. So it feels like they're just really crippling the economy on it. Then we need, the game needs more content. I mean, that's for sure. Yeah, we did get a chapter. Yeah, we did just get a PvP, but a lot of people feel like the game needs a little bit more, and this is where Netmarvel's Marvel Future Fight sets up the comparison. They're both in the same target demographic. They're both a Marvel game, and they're both mobile. This game is a little more readily accessible to the PC because you can get it on the Windows 10 store. So any Windows 10 PC can run this. And of course, you know, we have Android emulators like Nox and BlueStacks and Handy Andy and everything like that. So you could always do, you could do it that way. But Marvel Future Fight seems to churn out a lot of pretty interesting things to do. And I would say at the nearly perfect pace. You don't feel overwhelmed like, oh my god, we just got stuff and now there's more stuff. I'm not done with the old stuff. It feels like, okay, we're ready for something new over here. And they seem to have a perfect timeline. Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 stagnates a little bit. And post-Deathlock, I think we are seeing a little bit of that stagnation right now. No, I actually want that Spider-Man. That's cool. So that's something that hurts the game. 30 gold for a random PvP hero. That's another thing. When you have those cells that give you a PvP hero from the past that maybe you missed and whatnot, They're 30 gold. That can get pretty expensive. Another thing that's very easy to point to is a lot of people have felt that the drop rate of good ISOs from the higher missions has gone to shit. People are not seeing the very good ISOs that used to drop. It's not that we're complaining about something that we've never had, like, oh, we want much better ISOs to drop from this stuff. No, we're complaining about stuff that we had and then changed. That's the problem. Stuff that was in the game for a little while and then suddenly has changed to be against the player's favor. Heroes coming in at 1 star. So this may have only been a beta thing, but it used to be when you got a good majority of heroes, the higher level ones, or the more, the ones that you put more effort into, like chapter rewards and everything like that, they used to come in at 3 stars. Now they're coming in at 1, meaning you have a much more expensive and uphill battle when you are leveling a hero now. Like my MODOK that I got this morning, 1 star. That means I have to go through all of his trials and all of his ability trials and everything, unless I buy a 2 or 3 star ability and whatnot. It just seems like they're, unlike, say, Marvel Future Fight, which gives you a lot of things in the game that make you feel like the company wants you to enjoy the game and wants you to be happy with it and everything. It feels like Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, but Playdom, it almost feels like they're more in it for themselves than the actual player. Now, I don't always feel that way about Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, and people can easily disagree with me on that, and I wouldn't fault them. I would say that there's proof on either side of that argument. But MAE2, I feel like Playdom has been doing nothing in terms of give-me's. I don't feel like they've done anything along the vein of, you know, here's double coupon day, here's kids eat free day, here's bringing a dog, get a biscuit day. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything to foster good relations with the community, and that's also a problem. Another thing is that a lot of people would burn out their cells that would give them the level up gas, and when they would be burnt out, you could get them in the store for silver. And now replacement gas, when you burnt up all your freebies, is now apparently for gold. Now, this is something that I've had to have community members tell me, because I have so many cells. I never have used them all, so I've never had to get them for silver and whatnot. But people, and that was a good thing to spend silver on. I hit the silver cap at least every week and a half, and then I look at my heroes, I'm like, okay, who has trials that cost silver? Alright, you do. And then I spend my silver down so that I'm not at the cap. As you can see, I'm at 734. Very, very close. If you want to get gas now, when it runs out, which is of course these greens over here, it now costs gold. If you want to get more of these, and it used to cost silver, and that's irritated a lot of people. This, alright, I'm going to bet that I get 2 out of this cell. Yep, called it. I mean, that's how bad the luck has gone. That used to be like an 8. That was on average an 8 for me, and now my average is 3. I think my purple points have been okay. I think my silver has been okay, but gold has definitely gotten bad, and I have nothing really to spend my gold on anymore. I have every hero that I could get out of a superior cell. No need to get that. Archive key, of course, this opens previous Spec Ops. I mean, they have some decent stuff in the store. Admittedly, I've not looked at the store in a while, but people are just generally not happy with the game. And I think if Playdom looks maybe not as bad as, say, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, they're another game that's really hurting the community. When they started blocking a lot of third-party apps that fixed the problem with the game that they weren't fixing in the game themselves and everything, it feels like a similar thing is happening. They're not fostering the community. And that is the general consensus of this. And I think more and more people are just shying away from the game. And I bet if they looked at their daily players, it has probably gone down. And it's a tough landscape now. I mean, super hype games like No Man's Sky, they're losing people because the game didn't live up to what it was supposed to. The original Titanfall, I mean, we got Titanfall 2 coming, but the original Titanfall, when it dropped, people faded out of that game pretty quickly. Evolve, people faded out of that game pretty quickly. Battleborn, people faded out of that game pretty quickly. I mean, part of that was due to the juggernaut of Overwatch, but I think game companies are in a rough spot right now, and as long as they continue to have this older mentality that the games are for them, to be a funnel of money and stuff like that, it's gonna hurt gaming companies. I think they need to realize that the games are for the players, and they can make the game be for themselves the more that they make it for the players. I'm not saying you gotta give freebies everywhere and lose money on the game, but if you entice a community, they'll play the game and they'll stick with your shit. And I don't think Playdom is doing it right now at Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. I think they need to take a look at like what happened with Pokemon Go and be like, yeah, the gaming community, even on mobile platforms, is fickle. We need to do something better than we're doing. And I don't think Playdom will change it. I really hope the game does not go under. I like the game. I like it a lot, unlike Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics, where I wanted that game to burn in fucking fire. I hated that game and the way they did that. This game I want to keep playing, and I really, really hope Playdom does the right thing to bring people back to this game and keep the existing people and not bleed out. Because from what I'm hearing from my friends that have played this, they are bleeding out. They're hemorrhaging players, so there's my little rant on Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. If I missed anything here as to why this game's having issues, or things that were good and are now changed into being bad, definitely let me know. I may have missed a few in here. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, give a like and subscribe if you haven't already.